Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show, episode 10 of the Schedule Maintenance Show. I hope you're all doing fantastic. My name is Welgo. I am the host here who definitely sees a sword despite what Ian says. There is a sword in Zilfest no matter what the fuck that man claims. Today, we are talking World of Warcraft lore, and there's nobody better I would rather have on this show to talk about it. This is somebody who is a WoW nerd that has argued at various lengths about the validity of cosmic powers in the WoW universe. It's the smelliest of cubes. It's the person you all know and love that loves to troll me best he can with his head cannon. It is the Wombat Poop. Wombat, how you doing? And he's I was deafened. That was great. My pedal was so wrong that
Oh
it
yeah,
deafened me. Off to a great start. Wombat, how
I'm
you doing?
aware. What sword?
I don't know. What sword? No, the sword and Silphus. Absolutely. Don't you dare do this to
I
me.
don't know what you mean.
Don't you gaslight me. How dare you?
I don't get it.
Okay. How you doing, Wombat?
I am breathing, so that's a good thing.
I guess, that is required to live, so we'll take that.
I mean, yeah.
Glad to have you on
I don't
here.
really have a choice. I kind of have to take it. I'm kind of just here.
You know what? That's fair, I guess. Uh, glad to have you on here. I was thinking about doing a WoW lore episode for a while, and after seeing you adamantly defend some lore choices and explain it in the guild Discord, I'm like, there's nobody else I could possibly have other than you on here because Lord knows you are chock full of lore information. So this is gonna be good, and I'm happy to have you on again, man. It's been a while.
Oh yeah, it's been like what, month and a half or something, but yeah.
Well, I think last time we talked about Star Wars lore, so it only makes sense to talk about WoW lore
Yeah.
next.
Hey, it's just lore.
It's just lore. But before we get into WoW
The
lore,
lore whores.
I am the Lorax. Uh, before we get into that, we like to do the segment here where we talk about what we've done in the past week. So why don't we get started with the weekly recap? So let me ask you, what you been up to the last week here?
I've been playing an unhealthy amount of Final Fantasy 14. I have
Unhealthy,
been.
huh?
Oh yeah, no, I'm averaging about 6 to 7 hours a day.
6, 7, dude.
Even on There you go. Even on work days, it's kind of crazy.
You're just really going
Um,
into it, huh?
well, yeah, I mean, I wanted to level all the jobs
Okay.
so I could have all the armors, and I did all of them basically, except for like two. So I mean, I'm still on Final Fantasy right now in my little inn. So that's been my week. My week has been work, sleep, Final Fantasy, and deal with the Tistic Biscuit in the other room.
That's you know what? That's sounds like a good week though. I was recently shown some wing mounts in Final Fantasy of like that you could collect as like your mount, and it's just a bunch of wings, and there's like a mount for collecting all of them in a certain family. And I'm like, okay, damn, that's an actually really fucking cool mount. So I wouldn't be
Oh
surprised if
yeah,
I
it's
start trying to
awesome.
farm those, especially after the ones you show me you have.
Yeah, I think that is one. I can't remember what expansion that is, but I think that's the extreme mounts from that expansion. Each expansion has their extreme trials, and each one of them drops a specific mount. And if you get all of them, it activates a quest that gives you an additional mount. So,
That's really cool. That I like that feature. It kind of adds like it's like a nice little icing on the cake for collectors. So that's actually a really cool feature.
absolutely. And now, like, I mean, with them being old as God, even my non-max level character can solo the A Realm Reborn ones. So,
Okay.
them horsies on farm.
Them horsies. Honestly, the shark one that you mounted up in front of me was, I think, threw me off just how buff that shark was. I was like unreasonably
Dude,
buff.
Kara gave me an irrational amount of gil when I first started, and my server gave me more. And I went to the first thing I did was go to the market board and see how many crazy mounts I could buy. And I blew 500,000 gil on mounts in less than
Jesus.
10 minutes.
Oh my goodness. That's incredible.
I got the King Kong mount, the gorilla,
The
like
flying
the
gorilla was
shark.
just a little bit
Yeah.
ridiculous, let's be honest.
Oh, dude, it's not even, dude. There's a flying bed. There's a flying chair.
A flying bed.
There's a giant flying bowl of soup with chopsticks in it and shit. Like, there's no limit.
This game is so anime, it hurts.
And the best part about it, my favorite part is everything, all of these things are incredibly immersion breaking if it wasn't Final Fantasy because they somehow all still fit.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you busted out the gorilla and you're flying, like, quote unquote, flying. He's just running on air. And like, I'm watching this and I'm like, yeah, that seems like it fits here, which WoW could never, because it has to have
Hmm.
wings or some understanding of why it flies.
Yeah,
Like,
it
I'm not
has to.
going to
Well,
see
I mean,
Florendo running through the skies or anything like that.
that is true. Even with like the flying pigs and stuff and the flying rats, they do put like little spectral wings on them.
They do. If
I mean,
it's a
I have a
ground mount, it is a hard, for sure, ground mount.
I have a motorcycle that fly around, so I can just go full Hagrid.
Jesus, my goodness. Well, I know I've got to get back into it a little bit. I actually had a friend reach out to me recently that saw my recent TikTok where I equipped the bronze labia to my character. And he's been messaging me like, "You finally got Final Fantasy. Let's go. What are you on? I'll heal you." And there's more and more people. And another friend of mine, friend of the channel, Maddie Nice, he said he downloaded the free trial as well too. And I'm like, damn, there's more and more people trying this game out. That's insane.
I think it's insane. Like I treated myself on my birthday by resubbing, and I told a bunch of people, and then Kara, I got him the sub, and then Bagel fell, and then just there's so many people immediately.
And Face was already there. Now we've got Talo
Yeah.
helping you water bagel too, as I run
Gotta
away
water the bagel.
screaming because I've got a Lalafell in a fursuit chasing after me. So
Yeah. I mean, you had a giant cock and a Lala in a fursuit chasing you, so
and Face just as Face, and he's terrifying
yeah,
enough as
which
it
is
is.
somehow worse than the giant cock and the tiny Lalafell. I don't know how he does it.
I don't understand either, but man, he pulls it off. That's for sure. But yeah, I got to get back into that and play a little bit more, probably sometime either later this week or next week, because it is fun. But not to go too far off topic. Speaking of other MMOs, which it's not really. I saw Project Ascension's recent announcement. Have you seen that at all?
With their like 21 custom classes.
Yeah, the new classes and the new updates and
Mm-hmm.
stuff, which bold of them releasing all that while they're facing lawsuits from Blizzard. But I mean, until they
They
tell
just
them,
got summoned.
yeah, I did see that. And they're still just like,
I
hey,
saw
we're
that
still
on
releasing this shit. So good for them.
I saw that on my homepage and with the little like gameplay trailer, like the official little like box on there,
Hmm.
to make it look all. And I thought to myself, you guys are fucking screwed. There's no what you're gonna get shut down so quick. It's insane.
Yeah. And I said this before, like, I'm not surprised Blizzard's going after them after Turtle WoW. It sucks though, because at least Project Ascension, at least from hearing through the trailer, it's a free, like, it's a free version of the game you could play where Turtle WoW was offering subscriptions to the content, which makes sense why they
Oh
went
yeah,
after
that's
them.
always getting a little sleazy. It
Yeah.
always gets a little sleazy with, but private servers always do that. My issue with Ascension is like, I look at all those classes and I'm like, okay, so these are just like essentially hero specs of the existing specs.
Yeah.
And it's just like, because like I think the Necromancer, like two of them, like the Necromancer and the Reaper, like that's just a Death Knight.
Yeah. It's like
And the Rune
separating
Master,
like
like
parts of Death Knight to make a separate class.
right, and they got the Rune Master because of the one of the original classes was going to be the Rune Master, but then they took aspects of the Rune Master and the Necromancer and they merged it together when they retconned what a Death Knight was.
Hmm. Okay. Well,
Because
this
like Death Knights were not servants of Arthas of or the Lich King originally.
well
Warcraft 2 Death Knights were ridiculous.
because Warcraft 2 Death Knights, wasn't there that one that's in oh shoot, was it Black Temple or which boss
The
was
Black
it?
Temple,
Yeah,
Terran Gore.
Tarangor, yes. Okay. My brain went Ner'zhul. I'm like, no, he was the original Lich King, but he wasn't the first Death Knight. That was
Right.
Terrangor. Okay, and that's
Because
actually
Terrangor was the original DK,
yeah.
and they were completely different. And honestly, I'd have to like refresh on exactly how broken the lore got when they were releasing Wrath of the Lich King, but they had to essentially shatter that shit and put it back together to fit the expansion.
Uh, well, it seems like it did all right, and it actually is a good
Yeah.
time to talk about this with it because, yeah, watching the Project Ascension thing, they really went in like, hey, we have these 21 classes that are baked into like Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3 lore. But you're right, it's like they they kind of subsetted WoW classes and then said, oh yeah, like here's a berserker, and it's like okay, so that's Fury Warrior, or here's
Right.
a
And the
ranger.
Guardian,
It's
that's
just a
just a prot.
yeah, exactly. So, and I get
Now,
like
some of them are unique enough to exist, but like the Blood Mage, that one's pretty unique.
that
But
is
then
unique.
again, it's a Blood Death Knight that casts though, essentially.
Yeah, I do like the idea that they're trying to make it to where it's like your resource is your health for that. I think that's a very cool take on just an MMO class in general. But yeah, it's
Oh
very
yeah.
much like okay, here's the WoW classes. Here's what we know about WoW lore. Let's pick and move and see what we can connect the dots to make a unique experience. Which fair. That's not really much Blizzard's doing right now, but at the same time, good luck.
I can't imagine the balancing nightmare of that. If they're gonna try to make that game even remotely balanced, they've got like 3 to 4 specs on each one of these things.
It's funny you say that because I thought the same exact thing. Like when they were talking about the 21 classes, how many different specs, you could have over 70, you could be in a 40-man raid and be one of your own, like the one person on this class with the
Exactly.
spec.
There's yeah,
And
you're
I'm
gonna be
like,
missing specs
exactly. And I'm
with
like,
that.
I was watching it. I'm like, but here's the thing we know about WoW players. If there's one that's 5% stronger than any others, your 40-man WoW team is going to have 15 of that DPS class.
Oh, at the minimum. Yeah, it's gonna look like molten core damage meters.
Oh, 100%.
Just warriors and rogues, man.
It's going to feel like when I was doing Mana Forge Mythic Progression and we're on Salad Bar and the top five were all elemental shamans. Jesus, because that
Oh, they had their moment, didn't they?
they did. Everybody has at least
It's
one
over.
moment before it goes back to some other class. Season 2 of War
That's
Within, that was Prot Warrior, and I will never forget that.
that's why I just stick with BM Hunter. I just don't change ever. I'm a Beast Mastery Hunter, and that's just what I play. If it sucks this season, I'm getting carried. If it's great this season, I'm doing well.
And now you're getting a 600% attack speed bonus.
Is it attack speed or just like I thought it was like damage bonus?
I thought it was auto casting, but
Auto attack. I thought it was auto attack damage.
either way, you're getting a 600 increase to something because you're
Well,
apparently
yeah,
not doing
because
well enough.
outside of yeah, no, I mean outside of Bestial Wrath, I'm useless. It's really awkward on like specifically the spore boss, where you've got the burn phase of the ads, and like the little exploding mushrooms.
Yeah,
It's really awkward because my Bestial Wrath will be off cooldown, and the way the spec works is it wants you to hit that shit the second it's off cooldown. But my Bestial Wrath creates a big ass AoE with my pets, so I want to save it for that phase. So I have like 10 seconds of just full on dead time where I'm
yeah,
basically useless every single time.
yeah. I
It
noticed
wasn't a major issue until the Spore boss.
I noticed that for myself too, to like try to be able to help with my tank damage with the AoE of like Thunderclap, Thunderblast, and all that stuff. Is I found myself having Avatar up, but holding it for 10 to 15 seconds till that burn phase started to help. And the few times where I cast it early, I'm like, great, this is going to be helpful. It's like, cool, I got the solo target,
Hmm.
but I really needed it for that cleave. But my goodness.
Right. And another thing that's awkward is the AoE that comes off my Bestial Wrath. It's off of my pet. So if let's say we're about to pull the boss, if I pop Bestial Wrath while we pull the boss, that damage doesn't happen. And it's like 150,000 damage that it does because both my pets like stop. So I have to send my pet in, hit my
Oh
black arrow,
no.
then hit my major cooldown to
Because
make
it's
sure the actual mechanic works,
oh
rather
my
than them being
goodness.
like on the next attack, which is how the original kill command worked. They should have just made it that, but no.
Now, why would they make something that actually works?
Um, I don't know that I've been subbed anyway, so it's not like I canceled my sub or anything. So
Well,
I don't
speaking
think I've
of
canceled my sub since like Shadowlands.
Jesus. Well, speaking of why would they make something that works? Let's talk a little bit about WoW lore. Because as you've kind of mentioned, they've had to break retcon and do a whole bunch of work here to make it work to the point it is now. I'm familiar with some of your theories, but before we start talking about the current state of WoW, war, where we're going, and everything like that, I would love to take some time for both of us to talk about some of our favorite lore moments, both in game, books, what have you, of just because there's so many things that have happened in this game. I would love to hear from your perspective. Like, what's one thing you think of when you go, I want to talk about WoW lore? This is my favorite moment or one of my favorite moments.
The Calling of Stratholme.
Okay. Elaborate.
I, lo- just Arthas's unwavering commitment to just do what has to be done. Because I was Team Arthas all the way, even when he went dark. I saw everything he was doing, and I'm like, okay, I get this. If you could just break the corruption of the Lich King, then this can actually work. He's trying to unite the world in undeath to stop what is to come. I got it.
Hmm.
And just how ruthless it was. Especially how they tied it into Wrath of the Lich King with the dungeon. So if you played Warcraft 3 and you did the Culling of Stratholme, and then you're doing it through the eyes of your own character in this time traveling, I thought that was just incredible because it's the moment that Arthas becomes something else rather than this righteous paladin. It's the moment where he goes, okay, well, I'm just gonna do what I need to do rather than what's right, and that's what sends him to Mal'Ganis, which sends him to Northrend, which sends him to it's the first domino essentially that fell over on it.
Yeah. I gotta agree. Just how that went through, and this is coming from somebody that never played Warcraft at all, but is aware of like how it went, how it happened in Warcraft and everything, and just knowing Arthas's arc. That is such a cool, pivotal character development moment. That just you're rooting for this guy, and then suddenly you're just like, holy shit! Like, yeah, there's a right and a wrong thing, but he's not technically wrong here. Like,
Yeah, no, he went scorched earth. It's a perfectly valid military strategy. It
mm-hmm.
just happened to be his like sometimes you got to raise the castle so your enemy can't take it. It didn't work, but
No,
it could have worked.
absolutely. I did like how they did the lore walking recently, where you go through Arthas and like his training early on with Uther, and then even like
Mhm.
another perspective of like outside the gates of of outside the gates of Stratholme, where it was just that conversation between him and Jaina and Uther at the time, and like Uther and Jaina
Mhm.
just like, no, we can't condone this, and he's like, well, fuck you, then I'm still gonna do this because it's what needs to happen. Such a very good
Exactly.
character.
And that lore walking feature is probably my favorite minor feature they've ever put in because of how important it is to now they can just add these little bite-sized quests instead of expecting somebody to go read a damn book
Yes.
or expect them to go pour through a 30-year-old RTS that won't run on a modern machine or something like that. They could just add this abridged version of the exact same story and bada boom, you're done. It's like you're caught up, and that was something that was a problem with World of Warcraft because if you didn't start like in the Burning Crusade or in Wrath of the Lich King, and you kind of just started in, let's say, I don't know, Warlords of Draenor or even
Hmm.
later, you kind of didn't really know what the hell was going on. Like, okay, the Legion's invading. Who the hell's this? Who is everybody? You don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't do any of the legwork to explain who these people are, why they're important, why they're the ones going, why you're there with them, what your character has done canonically, regardless if you were there or not.
It very much just
And
sends you into the fire and says, here, try to keep up.
It's like you just subscribed. You're the champion of legend. Why? Why am I
What
the champion of
legend?
legend? What did I do? What is this legend? And why does everybody want to suck my dick right now?
Like, I'm all for it, but
It's
I would like to at
weird.
least know why. Like,
See, I'm not a huge fan of specifically MMOs or just any game in general having like this you are the chosen one like dictated by fate itself or like whatever. It's just I'm not a huge fan of it. But like in Final Fantasy, you are like essentially that. And they do the proper work to explain why that's the case and why you are important and why you end up being this pinnacle of the story over and over and over and over because they do all of the work to make it make sense. Whereas in WoW, it's just fill the bar, kill the big bad evil guy, get the loot, and who cared about the story?
yeah. Oh,
And they're
uh,
trying to build it up from like an actual, they're trying to make it more of a narrative game. And I appreciate the attempts.
it's just, is it too little, too late type thing? That's for sure. It's funny you bring up Final Fantasy and how they do that because in the short playthrough I've had so far, I think one of my favorite quests that nails what you're talking about is was it there's like it introduces you like, oh, you're just another adventurer, it's hard work here, sign up. And then you get a random quest where it's like, oh, this person needs some help, go to help them. And you go down and they go, yeah, they're fucking with you because they know you're looking to make a name for yourself and you're a fucking nobody. And I appreciate
Hmm.
that, like it's an actual quest of like acknowledging, hey, you want to be this thing, you're not quite there yet. That's something you got to work
Exactly.
for. Versus WoW, it's like, yeah, you go into your starting zone. It goes, oh, another person wanting to help defend the Horde or the Alliance, and then by level 30, you're taking on geopolitics and trying to save the world from some cosmic threat, and you're just like, I literally
What the
picked up
hell?
an axe and apparently came of age a week ago. Um,
Right.
why am I fighting God?
Right. Whereas if you started when I did, like I started January 13th, 2007. Yes, I remember exactly the day. Um,
Gotcha.
I played through the Burning Crusade. Like I hit level 70 right before I think in the pre-patch, so I did Karazhan, but I was like 13 at the time. Give me a break.
Mhm.
But I was there at the Dark Portal. I went through, I killed the demons, I helped that war effort. Went to Northrend. I went through all of that. My character specifically, I specifically experienced all of that. So when, for example, like Shadowlands, when the sky explodes and you
Mhm.
realize we're going to the realm of death, like I immediately think of all the times I had in Northrend and how that can connect and all of the characters that I knew.
Yeah,
Whereas if you're just a new player, you didn't have any of that, and they did nothing to set up any of that.
100%. I would equate that to my experience of like, being a horde player, being orc. I went out of my way to find out the lore and the history of how the horde came to be. Like, I don't read books, but I read a couple of WoW books of like, you know, the the growing up of Durotan and seeing the horde form and eventually shift against the Draenei all the way through coming through the portal. And so then when Warlords of Draenor came out, I was excited to see so many of these like iconic horde figures like in the game, and now we're fighting them. But if you go through that like starting experience through Warlords of Draenor and you see these names pop up of these orcs, you don't have that connection. You're just, oh, this is a bad orc I need to attack. Like, oh, cool,
Pretty much, it's just like big bad guy.
this blade fist guy is sending people to kill me. Cool. I don't get the significance of him throwing guys in an arena to me, but I'll fight the people or
Right.
like all these things. And it's like,
But if
eh,
you understand Kargath Blazefit's lore, you understand exactly why it's 100 people that he's sending at you, and exactly
exactly.
why he's mad that you only got 99, and exactly why when you kill him in Heimal, he goes, "That's 100." He's
Yes.
almost proud of you
I
for doing it.
I love that, by the way, of you finish that quest and he goes, that was only 99 mage. Well, I guess we owe you one. Then you kill him and I love that continuity there. But like, and they tried to do something to like give you a brief, like a bridge, like here's these people you're gonna meet, because they did like a couple of YouTube videos where it was like animated
Right,
of
they're
showing it.
Warbringers, like,
But
specials.
it just didn't do enough, I felt. Like it's like,
No,
yeah,
it didn't.
here's why these guys are gonna be important, but it doesn't convey why they mean so much.
Exactly. It's why when they added the recap with the War Within, I was like,
Mhm.
okay, now we can start to build a multiple expansion story arc
Mhm.
because somebody's gonna start here, and you're gonna make them start here, and they're gonna know what the hell's going on.
Yeah,
Because you can't expect somebody to go play through the entirety of Dragonflight just to understand what the hell's going on for the World Soul Saga. So, but you can expect them to start at the War Within with that leveling campaign as they go through it.
absolutely.
So now that they've done this, they've built that foundation. So after the last Titan, they can just go hard reset.
Absolutely. I do find it funny you bring up Burning Crusade because like I joined late. My first time playing was late BC. I didn't get to max level till it was about halfway through War with or not War Within. Jesus, imagine start BC and not get max level till War Within. Um, but
I've
what?
known people that did that.
But not get like max level till I think about Argent Crusade for Argent Tournament for Lich King because like I first played on a friend's
Argent
PC.
Tournament questing or Argent Tournament raid?
The patch for it, like the
Okay, so when the actual Trial of the Crusader came
yes,
out.
yeah. Uh,
Because the tournament ground came earlier. It came with the Ulduar
I
patch,
remember
and
the
then
actual raid being like advertised of like this is
right.
happening. Um,
Okay, cool. So TOC,
yeah,
underrated raid in my opinion.
it wasn't that bad. For the few experiences I've had, when current and later on going through it, it didn't feel like it was that bad of a little mid
No
raid.
trash, man. No trash.
No trash is true. It makes it a lot
And
more
that was good. And
straightforward.
then they never did that again. I wonder why.
Well, BOE farms, come on
Uh,
now. Uh,
I mean, yeah, but I've always hated that too.
yeah, it's fair. Blinky's collar, by the way. Um,
I'm never gonna get it.
no, we're never going to get it. Saf's going to get it 37 more times before we get it.
Mm-hmm.
But to finish the point,
Maybe enough to fucking make a rope. What?
to finish the point, it's funny you mentioned like Burning Crusade and stuff because it wasn't until I finally said, okay, what the hell am I learning about this guy in Legion about Illidan? Did I like actually try to understand why he was the bad guy in Burning Crusade? And to be honest, I still don't fully understand why we were so against him because it seemed like he was doing his own shit that was like still helping us, but just the way we didn't want him to. So you talk about like
Well,
not explaining lore in game.
right, exactly. Because you needed some context to that. Because Illidan didn't just come to Outland to hide from the Legion. He came to Outland to take it over. He imprisoned Magtheridon, who
Hmm.
was the Lord of Outland, and he overthrew him, and he became the Lord of Outland. And in Zangarmarsh, you've got the coil farm. One of the worst things he did was the main two things I think that are bad is he was willingly and forcibly exposing orcs to Fellblood to create Fell orc armies.
Okay.
Um, and he was using the Naga to basically funnel the entire planet's water source into one area, therefore controlling life. So he was
Yeah.
subjugating, and he was a tyrannical dictator in Outland. But he was serving towards one goal, but they did a terrible job, even in the Burning Crusade, of explaining that.
Yeah.
They didn't actually really explain it until Legion. And it's why I think they butchered his character in the Burning Crusade. It was one of the biggest problems about it. Aside from the Draenei retcon, it was a huge issue.
So I'll circle back to that in a second because I'm curious what that is. But like I would agree because like in Legion there was so much like there's so many quests about his like backstory and like how he you know wanted with between him, Tyrande, and Malfurion and all that. And then, he's helping us lead the charge after we took him back from Gul'dan and all this stuff. And it's like, okay, so this guy's good, like we approve of him, especially with the Demon Hunter quest line at the start of it too. Of like, hey, go get this so we can, take out the Legion and stuff like that. It feels like they shape but if you look at Burning Crusade as an individual like storyline, it never seemed like he was somebody that was just misunderstood or anything. He just seemed like, oh, this dude's bad. He's controlling all these things. Go kill him. And it's like, but why? Granted, BC Warcraft probably didn't have the idea of like, oh, we need to really flesh out a story, so you have that at least to hold in Blizzard's favor. But like, it just seems so drastic. Of I don't understand why we hate this dude, and now all of a sudden love this dude.
Right, exactly.
So
It and they tried to do that through prophecies and stuff. I don't even know what they were doing with that
I
actually.
am my scars. Okay, dude, just fucking. It never was just a phase. Got it. Cool.
Right. Yeah, no, this is lifelong. Which is weird. Like you're going the prophecy of the child of light and shadow, and it's like Erator's right
I
there,
was
my
gonna say
guy.
that sounds
What are
like
we
more like
doing?
Eritor than it does uh
I mean, that's what
Malfurion,
they're setting up. That's what they're setting up, I think. When we eventually find Illyria and Turalian both alive, yes, and the world in the Chamber of the World Soul, and they both die, I think that's when he becomes the child of light and shadow.
which will be very interesting. But before we go there, what is this
Yes.
Draenei retcon you speak of?
So in the Burning Crusade, the Draenei were originally like introduced in Warcraft 3 with like a comma, and they were these the broken ones.
Hmm.
But they changed them in a major way to allow for the Draenei race to be playable. But the major lore implications that I was bothered about specifically was the origins of Sargeras and the Burning Legion.
Okay,
Because originally, s- like when you go, who came first, chicken or the egg? Who came first, Sargeras or the Eridar? It was the Eridar first. They were a race of demons,
really
essentially. They corrupted Sargeras, not the other way around. But when they created the lore of the Draenei, they created Velen and they ascent and Kil'jaeden and Archimonde were already a thing, but they were Eridar lords under Sargeras, but the Eridar are what pulled Sargeras to that conclusion. You know what I mean?
interesting.
Rather than the Nathrazim and shit like that, it was the Eridar because the Eridar were always this like conniving demonic shit race, and the
Yeah,
Draenei were like the broken, and then they merged the Eridar and the Draenei into one thing.
interesting. I was not aware that that was previously what it was because
Yeah, and I'll say with what they did with it in the Burning Crusade and then later on in Legion, I think in hindsight it was a good change, but at the time it pissed off a lot of people.
really I did not know that. Because yeah, I know like I forget which book it was that I read where it was about like the early days on Draenor. Um, but even then, I remember in that book where it was, the Draenei were escaping the decision of Kil'jaeden and Archimonde to join Sargeras, and everything I read was
Hmm.
like, oh yeah, Kil Sargeras was a Titan, and then he was fighting this stuff until he's like, fuck it, I'm done fighting, join me, and I'll control you. So I didn't even know that there was that opposite
Well,
storyline.
it was less I'm done fighting and I'll do this, and more when he came across a planet that was fully corrupted by the void, he realized that his fight was a futile one and that his directive needed to change from imprisoning to expunging.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
Interesting.
he ran into that world, and the only thing, it was so corrupted by the void that the only rational decision he could come to was to take out his sword and cleave it in two. And when he went back to the Titans to explain this, they were fucking horrified that he had just done this because he had wiped out an entire planet and they didn't see what he saw. So they were essentially not really believing the threat of what Sargeras saw, and they were pissed, so he killed them all.
I'm seeing a lot of parallels here. This sounds very familiar to Arthas.
Yeah,
Just
they kind of recycle a lot of these, but in different cosmic ways. Because Arthas was a complicated character, but also a really simple one. It's kind of
mhm,
weird.
which I
Because like
still,
his motive was to save Lordaeron until he was corrupted,
yeah. And we get that
and then it just
amazing
became
cutscene
fucking kill
of
everyone.
we get that amazing cutscene of him and his dad in the throne room, still hearing those
Hmm.
bells walking through the Undercity.
Yeah, you can still see the blood. The blood stain's
Oh,
still
it's
there.
it's so good. It's such a good.
Yeah.
It's iconic, is what it is. Uh, and I feel
Speaking
like
of which, that crown is still missing.
really,
To my knowledge, they never recovered that crown. I'm pretty sure it says it on his tomb, something like that, and they never recovered the crown of the king.
hmm,
It gone.
it'll somehow end up in Anduin's pocket, I'm sure, with no explanation unless you read a book. Um,
Yeah, fair enough.
I feel like so much lore wise, people in or not even just lore, but expansion wise, so many people's favorite moments come from Wrath of the Lich King because Arthas was such a pivotal character in Warcraft and the stories surrounding him. I gotta say though, one of my favorite lore moments in game that isn't tied to Arthas but still in Lich King has got to be the purge of the Undercity quest line after the Wrathgate.
Oh my god, phenomenal. They should have never removed
They
it.
should have never removed it. I understand like pacing of leveling as things were getting squished and everything, sure. But the Wrathgate quest line and that whole fight to go underneath and I mean I never experienced it from the Alliance side. I was only ever the Horde, but just the culmination of that entire quest line is probably the only reason why I thought to go and do Lich King Classic so I could experience that again because
Yeah, I went back and did it on the Alliance on Classic because I
it
did it on Horde originally.
it's phenomenal. And like the first time I remember leveling a tune and realizing that was gone, I was so upset to go from that cutscene and see, everybody dying to the plague to just like, okay, we burned the corpses, go do your thing. I was crushed.
Oh, I
It,
was devastated.
it's so good and just, really exemplifies the conflict. Horde gets there first and like, okay, we've taken this, we're done. And then I can't even remember the king's name. It's only Anduin now, and I feel bad.
Varian.
Varian, thank you. Just see Varian
What's
going,
his dad's name though?
wasn't it like fucking Anduin Lothar?
No, that was his
Oh no, that's
dad's
his son.
best friend
It's
and the commander.
okay, that's right. And then fucking what was? Oh, I watched the
It's a
Warcraft
dumb
movie.
one.
I promised. What was it? Tell me.
Lane. Lane Rin
King Lane. That's right. Oh,
with two L's because why?
Lloyd. Um.
Yeah,
oh,
pretty much.
Lane.
Lelani. Lalani.
Lani. But
Elan.
yeah, that the whole Wrathgate quest line leading up to it, and even the quest line after, one of the best I feel like quest lines of pushing a narrative forward because it really like built up like okay we're gonna bust in here, we're gonna take down the Lich King, even though like as you're questing there's still two other zones you haven't visited at this point. And
Right, and you can if you're a longtime player, you logically know that his raid's not going to be open for a minute, but it gets you hyped.
it really does, and I feel like that's what the Wrath of the Lich King did so well is the
Hmm.
prominence of Arthas through so many
The
quest lines.
oh, and the dungeon. I was gonna say his constant presence. He was
Yes.
constantly stalking you from seeing him transform that the Vrykul in Utgard Keep to
Hmm.
him chasing you down in the dungeon where he's the final boss
Oh
of a
my
dungeon, but he's
gosh.
just such a king shit that the only option is run.
Absolutely. Oh, or
I
even
mean, I was 16 when I did that quest, and I was genuinely shaking. I was fucking terrified.
it's insane. Like even what was it? There's a quest line where you go to stop the resurrection of King Gimron. I think that's his name. And then he just shows up and he goes, nah, fuck you. You killed his wife. I'm not done with him yet. You could go fight him resurrected in the dungeon. Go for it.
Hmm.
And it's like, God damn, this motherfucker is literally everywhere. And
Right, and it's like it shows how powerful the holy ground of Light's Hope was. Otherwise, that would have been a very different story.
it still feels like there's not been an expansion where the bad guy's presence has been felt that much. Like like I know Cataclysm they had, Deathwing could fly over zones and you saw him there, but like it didn't really feel like he was constantly over your shoulder. Um
Did
fu-
you ever get that to happen to you back in the day?
oh, absolutely. I have the achievement. Stood in the fire? Yeah.
Yeah, I got it back in the day and on Classic.
It's such a good achievement, and it was a cool feature. Don't get me wrong. To see, holy fuck, I can't do anything about it. Shout out to
Yeah, the
the
sky would just turn red.
absolutely. Shout out to the pseudo sequel to that achievement with Farak and the Dragon Isles.
Yes, that
Stood in
was
the
cool.
fire again. Fantastic achievement name.
Right.
But like,
I still to this day think they should not have allowed that achievement to proc in the raids.
oh, they did?
Oh yeah, if you wiped on Deathwing, you get stood. If you go kill yourself on Madness of Deathwing, you'll get stood in the fire.
That's not right because you're not in the fire.
No, you're not.
The
But you
fuck?
can easily tell who had it, who got it proper, and who got it after by checking the date. And if they got it before like what is it? What was it? November 2011?
Gotcha.
Then they got it. They got it legit.
Yeah, the first time I remember seeing that zone turn red and I see this giant fuck ass dragon coming after me, I'm like, oh shit, that's terrifying. But that's as
Yeah.
much as they did for his presence. And you and any other
Right.
game, like you see they're trying to do it like with the narrative beats for, quest lines or in-game cinematics with Xalatath. But even then, like it doesn't feel as foreboding as it has
Well,
since then.
I think that's because the middle tier of War Within and Midnight is essentially the B plot.
Yeah.
And she's not a huge factor in the B plot. She's the A plot. So we kind of take a step away from Xalatath in the middle of the expansion. Yeah, she was around in Undermine, but she wasn't the main focus. It was the
No.
liberation, it was the revolution. To be clear, I loved Undermine. It's the reason
Oh,
I like goblins now.
absolutely.
But it felt very disjointed in comparison to the rest of the story, and I feel like we're about to have that same problem um on the Isle of Fangs.
Like it to where it's gonna feel like because we know it has something to do with Zul'Jan, and he's gonna go doing his thing, and we kind of figured Zul'Jan was gonna be a pain in the dick finishing the quest line in the Amani zone, but like
Oh yeah, he was looking at that shit menacingly.
he's like, I don't agree with these Loa things. I like this island over here. It's probably just going to be like Zaltath will do just a quick cameo of just like speaking into his ear, and then he goes and does bad shit, and we got to stop him.
Well, the issue with that is he can't. He physically can't do what he needs to do over there because his sister is the kingship person, whatever
Yeah,
that title is. I can't remember. But like that person, the person who's been bestowed that title is the only person who is able to do what So how the hell's that even going to work?
I don't know. I do
I
not
think
know.
Zul'Jana's got to go bad somehow
Or
or be manipulated in some
Zuljara,
way. Yeah, Zul'Jara's got
my
to be
thick
manipulated.
Dami Amani mommy. I
Yeah,
don't think
your
so.
Dami
No,
mommy's
no,
gonna
she's
like I
perfect in
something
every
bad's
way.
gonna happen to
She
her.
could never do something wrong. Okay, unless
Well,
she steps on me
she's
lightly, that's
literally
the only thing she could do wrong.
she's the key, and we're taking her to the hole. Something bad's gonna happen.
That okay, accidentally do something wrong, I'll give you that. It purposefully, no way she's perfect. Um
She's either getting manipulated or corrupted.
I hope
Ulatek's gonna slither around her leg and be like, "Hello."
if she ends up being a raid boss, I will just stop raiding. I will not lay a finger on her until she. Well, actually,
I
no.
don't
She
see.
beat my ass and killed me. Never mind. I'm back in.
There you go, win-win. Either step on me, mommy, or fat loots.
Listen, I'm a very simple man. Okay, I have very simple wants and needs, and listen, we all know what those are at that point. Um, but it comes back
Yeah,
to that like Zalatath, I understand. She's been there. She's going to be the main person we're going after. Through we did for War Within, now Midnight, and then possibly into the Last Titan. I don't know if we're going to end killing Zalatath and then dealing with some other repercussions or what, but it feels like she has more of a presence in the War Within, but it still is not enough. Similarly to Arthas was like, and I don't want to just make this a glazing for Wrath of the Lich King by any means from a lore perspective, but it all ties back right about how they make information known about the expansion and everything in game readily available, and they struggle with that. I feel.
In recent years, they've been doing better about it.
Okay.
Um, here's my thing. If they're gonna continue to do the books and the whatchamacallits and whatever, that's fine. But do one of two things. Either make the out of game media, like books, comics, and all that stuff, be purely optional. Just extra a shit ton of extra flavor to the story. But if you don't read them, you're not missing a thing. No war crimes on this one.
Oh.
Or, well, you remember the book War Crimes, right?
It's one of my favorite books. I have
Right.
it on
But
my
if you didn't
shelf.
read that, if you didn't read that book, you had no idea what the hell was going on going into Warlords of
You
Draenor.
don't know how we fucking got here. Exactly.
You went from this panda sparing this orc's life to we will never be slaves. How the hell did we get here?
How did Garrosh time travel? Exactly.
Like a lot of people didn't even realize that the weekly quest that you were doing on the Timeless Isle was to build the hourglass that they were going to that bronze dragon was going to use. That's the bronze dragon that he killed, the
Hmm.
one that you were doing the weekly
In
with.
in the
Nobody
sing
fucking realized that.
and nobody, if somebody skipped over the quest in the Grand and Wad, they never would have made that connection either. That a bronze dragon helped him escape.
Also, fuck Blizzard for making that time lost proto Drake pop up on Rare Scanner on Warlords of Draenor. That was bullshit, and they know it.
Do you think they could, instead of making it optional or like, you know,
I was thinking the second option is to add it into as a lore walking
that
quest.
was going to be my ask, is these important
Yes.
story beats that we should know to connect dots of how things happen, to put it into lore walking.
Mm-hmm. Like, for example, War Crimes, of an abridged version of the book, added into lore walking before Warlords of Draenor came out, so people would know what the hell is going on. Any tie-in book, add a lore walking, so people know, or multiple if you can't fit the whole thing, and break it into multiple character arcs. Just make sure that this extracurricular media that affects the A plots of the game is readily accessible in the game.
I will say war crimes would be super easy to do, because you could have one, like the 4-part quest of the one showing like the start of the trial and everything, one be like them showing the alliance's misdeeds, and the hordes, and another be the horde's misdeeds, and then you see the escape. That would be an easy 4-part quest line to make that happen, and
Mm-hmm.
that would be really cool to see. And
Exactly. It would. That'd be something that I'm kind of waiting to see what they're going to do with Classic
okay.
because they're quiet as hell right now, which makes me think, oh shit, this is ending in mop, isn't it? But Warlords of Draenor is the biggest missed potential in terms of lore, story, and content.
Mhm.
And I feel like they could take the Classic project and literally just redo Warlords of Draenor from the ground up and add that content back in.
They could.
Make it what it could have been. And otherwise, I'm gonna level to 100, play a survival hunter in Heimal so I can do like stupid DPS and greens, and then quit because that is the only thing that's worth doing.
Well, because what? There was only
Oh, never mind. It's gonna be the 6.2 build. Survival got nerfed. No.
the
Oh, fuck.
the instant realization and hate coming from your voice there is incredible. What timing.
Oh my god. I'm genuinely upset.
Well, because you mentioned, so let's double back on that, because you mentioned how Warlords of Draenor had so much lore potential, which it really did, to explore the alternate versions of what could be between, the Draenei and the classic orcs and the Horde. With this switch, it there was really so much. But when it comes to raids, they really only had Highmaul and then the end game raid, right?
BlackRock Foundry. They
Oh,
had
I
BlackRock
completely
Foundry.
forgot about Blackrock Foundry.
Fucking S tier raid.
Really, I
Black
wasn't
Hand.
able to
Oh
do it
my
in
god,
current
dude.
content.
I will never forget not getting ahead of the curve on Black Hand. I spent the entire night before the achievement went dead, 14 hours
Oh my goodness.
refilling that group, pulling, refilling that group, pulling, and we never got it. It was a
Wow.
god tier fight though. It was so good.
That's good to know. I think the furthest I got when it was current, before my WoW sub ran out and I couldn't play for reasons, was doing, I think, the first wing of Heimal. And then I missed out the rest of the expansion.
Heimal was good too. I still like I still can't understand why people couldn't do the flamethrower on Brackenspore. I still to this day, like it's been 12 years and I don't understand it.
You're telling me WoW players can't figure out how to handle a mechanic? Fucking Jesus.
I
Also,
mean, it was
also in the
just
news, water is wet.
I mean, but is it though?
We're not getting into this debate. We're talking about WoW lore. Okay, we could spend another two
I
hour
mean,
show.
are we though?
We fucking are.
Yes, yes we are. Yes
We
we are.
are.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
Don't you do this to me. You've already gaslit me once. I don't
Head
need you doing this
cannon.
again. No, your headcanon is too fucking strong. We've been over this.
Hey, it's not my fault that I live in my own little world and I just have to share it with all of you, okay?
What a way to live. What a fantastic way to live. But so we've talked about some of our favorite WoW lore moments, and we've kind of alluded to where WoW's going and WoW's current state. You know, you say how they've done it better than recent years. Do you? Obviously, there's been some things where it'd be nice if they featured this or had something interactable to go over some of these points. Do you think with the inclusion of the troll history in the warlocking, which I haven't gone through yet, as an option for lore walking ahead of this troll themed patch, do you think that's something they might explore or should explore
Oh, absolutely.
in doing then? Okay. What's the
Yeah,
first
they
one you
need to
would
be
go with?
doing it kind of well, it depends on what we're doing in 12.2. I think they should focus these lore walkings specifically on building the foundations of the stories that they're doing right now, like those missing pieces on
Mhm.
why they're important. Like focusing on the trolls right before the troll raid is perfect. And if I'm right about 12.2, then exploring on the Titans and the World Soul would be what we would do next.
Which would be really cool. And not do it in a way
Right.
where it's not like built in with the Titan disc fragments from War Within, where we got that
Yeah,
lore.
no, no, not trickling in. I see a major lore reveal in the same vein as Xalatath's deal with N'Zoth happening in the lore walking that sets up 12.2. Like we are gonna learn some weird shit about Azeroth.
Which that was a really cool lore walking to do Xalatath's story.
Oh
I think
yeah,
it added that extra depth to the character that I feel like so many people don't understand where the hell she came from. And while it still makes me blame every Shadow Priest uh, in this game
you
for
stay
this
away from my
expansion.
Naifu.
Listen, I'm just saying, if we can blame anybody for all the troubles that we are having in the World Soul Saga, we can blame Esh. So that's my headcanon and what I'm going with.
Fair enough. Fuck you, Ash. Why'd you do this? Why you steal my Naifu? What the hell? She was mine.
But it was cool for them to use that set piece for the Black War, or was it the Black Empire, um, and see that
Mhm.
deal being made and like all the old gods talking about
Right,
Zaltath and realizing, oh shit, she's been here this whole time.
right. And the thing is, like that deal, we still don't know what it was. I
Mm-hmm.
think I know what it was, but
You care to
that's
share?
still a thread that we have to. Yeah, I think that when. Okay, so you know the story of Xalatath. She was in the blade, she got trapped in the blade, and how she got out of that blade. Remember in Battle for Azeroth?
I believe so, yes. But
Basically, we gathered these MacGuffins and we presented them to N'Zoth, and we were the last MacGuffin. And that fulfilled some kind of bargain that they had, releasing the blade. The blade is then later used to is given to Ashara and blah 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 filler patch, and then it's used to open up the carapace of N'Zoth, and then we don't see it again until it's like plunged into Illyria's back.
yes.
I think that Nyalotha was a suicide run. He intentionally got himself killed
Okay.
in Nyalotha And the reason we never found that blade is because we didn't actually kill him. He went into the blade.
Interesting theory.
And that blade is the key to corrupting the world soul. She went down the toilet stream of the dark well. There's only one reason for her to do that, to connect to the ley lines, to make her way to the world soul chamber. Why? I think to either use that blade with N'Zoth's power to break open the prison, or to plunge that blade directly into the world soul, essentially injecting N'Zoth into the soul of the world.
Interesting. That would be quite the turn of events. So even when she plunged the knife into Ilaria, you're thinking N'Zoth was in there, and she didn't obviously release N'Zoth into Ilaria, just use it as a knife to extract Lura.
I think,
But she's
yeah,
carrying
she
around
did
an
that.
old god in her back pocket the entire time.
Pretty much. I think that was the bargain that she made because he was the last one standing. What sense does it make for him to die in a blaze of glory? And then you got to think back to the Dragonflight quest with the Bronze Dragonflight. When you go to Nyalotha, N'Zoth says, "You, I know you, what you will be, what you have yet to become, blah, blah, blah." He sees you and he understands, oh shit, that's the reality that's going to happen, the one where I die to this guy. Because the old gods, specifically N'Zoth, can see unlimited realities. They can see unlimited futures, but they have no real way of determining which one of those is the true timeline. By us going back in time and showing N'Zoth us, that confirmed what the true timeline was, the one in which we kill him.
I like this. Holy shit! Because in the moment you don't think much of it, right? You think, oh, it's a quest line. Oh, N'Zoth, what have you? We could have been seeing him in.
Brother, I went dick first down the rabbit hole the second those words came out his mouth. I have been, dude, I've been speculating about his return since we killed him.
That's incredible. That is an insanely good theory that actually has a lot of weight to it of connecting that. Like we joked before this, guys. I want you to know we joked about this. I sent my notes to Wombat about what we were going to talk about today, and he sent me back the Charlie Day gif of connecting the red lines to all the posters on the wall. Um, but I
Yeah.
don't feel like this is one of those moments where you're crazy talking out your ass. There's a lot of actual connected established lore that could
Mm-hmm.
make sense here, which would be
And
an
then you have to
incredible.
remember, what are the old gods? They are cast into our reality from the void to infect planets,
Mhm.
embed themselves in it. What better way to infect a planet's world soul than injecting one of those infections directly into the source?
True. Fuck.
So that means that either Azeroth is going to be mortally wounded, or she's going to be born and kill Xalatath,
so
or she's
now,
going to be born and be corrupted, and she's the final boss of the Last Titan.
let's talk about this because we get an idea of like what the last Titan could be, and that going down that entire rabbit hole would be incredible. The other hand I've been seeing about what could possibly be having to the last Titan is, being that the world soul is sought after by so many, both Void and the Titans themselves, to protect from the trickling of information that we got from the Titan disc fragments, where we could end up be essentially fighting the Pantheon, coming back to essentially birth the Titan out of the world. There is what I've seen. What do you think of that for a theory being the pathway for the last Titan?
I don't think they're going to come back to essentially like induce labor on the Titan on the world soul. I think what's going to cause them to come back is major damage to the mainframe.
As opposed
I
to
I
Lieutenant General
feel
damage.
right, yes. I feel like my wild card idea is that in this fight, in this theory of Xalatath attempting to corrupt the world soul, Aridity comes out of fucking nowhere and blows the damn cage up,
Which you're true.
freeing that world soul and freeing her from the Titan's control. So they're going to have to come and put their dog back on its leash so he can punch them in the face.
Interesting, because yeah, we were promised, a fight with Eridicron ever since he left with Zaltath towards the end of Dragon, before the final patch of Dragonflight.
Right. The fucking Infinite Dragonflight one, which they did well, I think.
Yeah, you know, and I'm excited to fight that guy because I still think him and his as aspect form is one of the cooler aspects. Like he looks fucking absolutely badass. Um,
Yeah. He's amazing. He's an amazing character model. I'm not convinced we're fighting him.
really, you think because was it Metzen at BlitzCon said? I thought he said along the lines we were going to face off with the Rubicon, but I guess that doesn't mean necessarily he's going to
Face
be.
off doesn't mean kill him.
You're right there. He may not be a raid boss.
We already faced off against him once.
True.
We can face off against him again. And maybe when we face off against him next, he has some really good points and we understand his point of view and we go, okay, yeah, no, we got to start punching these Titans in the face.
My
Because
goodness.
my theory for the final boss of The Last Titans, since the second they announced it, was Aman'Thul.
Okay. That's the
Because
big bearded Zeus looking pantheon guy, right?
he is the head of the pantheon.
Yeah.
Yes, he is the one that blessed Norsdomu. He's the like Titan. Like he knows everything.
Gotcha. Okay.
He's the biggest threat to our universe.
Interesting.
But then we also have to explore the possibility of Xalatath trying to trigger a a flooding of light.
Now, why would she do that? Obviously, she taunted a lot at the paladins and the light as a whole in the Voidspire raid. But why would she want to trigger a outpouring of light though? Given how void she is.
So So you know how in Dragon Ball Z, Frieza would send out Saiyans to go eradicate all life on the planet and then basically scorch the entire Earth and sell it to the highest bidder?
Sure.
I think she's trying to eradicate the entire planet so that she can build it from scratch as her own thing
Okay.
and use the
Glass it
world's
and
soul
start
to
over.
empower himself. Yeah, scorch Earth and start over. And she's not originally of the void, so she'll have no
Correct.
problem utilizing the light and utilizing its vengeful fury and allowing us to burn our own world. I mean, we see what the light has done to Erator's face.
Yes.
Dude's literally on fire. We've
He's
seen what it can
constantly on
do.
fire. His robes are still on fire since that cutscene.
Yeah, and it's all connecting to their like it all goes back to a quote from uh what was his name? Benedictus in a Cataclysm dungeon. There is no good, there is no evil, there is only Pa. The
Hmm.
light is not good, it is not evil. The void is not good, it is not evil. It's just based in power. And it's a cosmic struggle. I
Interesting.
don't think Xalatath is evil. I don't think she's good either. I think she is a potential balance on the scale.
Okay. Because you're right.
Because this whole thing,
Go
the
ahead.
whole story of Midnight is to be, quote, the final battle between light and void. But we know that one cannot exist without the other. Neither one can be fully eradicated, neither one can fully consume the other. That balance has to be maintained. So we can't eradicate the void. We can't eradicate the light. But what we might be able to do is sever its connection to reality.
Interesting.
I don't know how you continue to do priests and paladins if you do that, but like, I
Well,
just, given I'm thinking about this way more than they probably are, but
well, to be fair,
I could
didn't
see
they
a
make
possibility in which the light flooding happens.
okay. I do see where you're coming from because like especially when you come in terms of like using it as a power and not necessarily saying good or evil because correct me if I'm wrong. The Void Storm where we travel to for the raid, that
Hmm.
is the was that or was that not
Yes.
the remnants of Zalatas world?
Yes, that's how
Okay.
she knows about the light flooding. I'm calling it light flooding because they haven't really put a name to it.
I was gonna say, because there's some lore objects you can interact with that are like etchings of like accounts
There's a
from her
whole
people where they
side
talk about
quest.
a weapon and something they put together, but I
Yep.
don't remember if they ever said what that weapon is.
It's heavily implied that that weapon was a giant light nuke, which eradicated the entire planet in light.
Okay, which would make sense then
And
why
And
she
Xalatath going to the void saved her.
okay. And that would make sense why she could potentially look to destroy Azeroth using the World Soul and then starting over. Um,
She's seen it done before.
she's seen it done before. There is a good question from Hunter in chat right now, but why do that to our world when there's plenty of others out there with sentient life in the WoW universe? And I'm
Because those planets do not have the prime world soul within it.
there we go. Because the World Soul is something that is so sought after and
Yeah, it's not
unique in
just
the
any world
universe.
soul. It is the one prime world soul. It is the one true MacGuffin.
Again,
Like,
fantastic use of the word MacGuffin. I meant to say it earlier. Just such a strong and good word. MacGuffin. Absolutely love it. But continue.
and what you were saying earlier about how the Titans in the void and the light, they're constantly vying for control of this world. So it's not just them, it's everyone.
Mhm.
The reason that the Shadowlands exist is so the Titans could block the realm of death from coming to them. The reason the Emerald Dream exists is so the Titans could block the realm of life from getting to it. They blocked off connections, but they couldn't block off the light and they couldn't block off the void.
Interesting. I have heard you talk about this as a potential, and I want to dive in there too, where the Shadowlands, and we kind of heard it interesting. Uh, and actually, it'll go into with Hunter's question. I'm going to introduce this where he asks, "How does the whole Zal doing this theory tie in with the Maw?" We've heard in the recent end of Midnight Falls raid where Sylvanas alludes to the Shadowlands not being what they seem. Do you mind going through your theory on that? Because I love this theory about and how the Shadowlands are a Titan construct.
I don't think that the Maw or the Shadowlands is going to be tied into Xalatath at all, or what her motives are. I think that what Sylvanas is discovering right now is the Great Titan conspiracy that Chris Metzen told us about at BlizzCon, and that Titan conspiracy is the A plot of the Last Titan. So I don't see us seeing Sylvanas until the very end, if not the very beginning of the next. And I don't see her story really affecting what Xalatath does until the next expansion. Because you got to keep in mind, when she sees Sylvanas, she's like, "Yeah, I didn't count for you. I didn't factor you into this." So she's currently recalculating her plan to factor in Sylvanas. So and Xalatath is so good at this that I don't think it's gonna fuck up anything she's doing.
Because yeah, when she says that, more or less, her plan, she got what she wanted, and like I didn't account for you, but she still went about it of like this doesn't fucking change anything in this moment.
Right.
I've already won.
Yeah, she still got to go down the slip and slide of Darkwell and get to the fucking World Soul.
Yes. Which I have heard, and I want to address this because there's been some lore channels and like just WoW conversation channels I've watched where call out of like they did a bad job of explaining that's what was happening. And I'll give some credit because it wasn't until you mentioned it and then the conversation between Romath and Umbric afterwards where it brings up like yes in fact there was stuff piling down. Did I go back and watch a cutscene and go, oh shit, there are shadows of void creatures going down there? I don't think they necessarily did a bad job of pointing that out because there are
They
options to
didn't
do
want
it.
it to be the focal point.
Exactly. They
It
want
wasn't supposed to be the focus. You're almost not supposed to notice it
mhm.
because that's the foreshadowing. The foreshadowing can't be too in your face. Even with that alone, I can put the pieces together to know where they would be going. So
Yeah. we all kind of have an idea once we realize, wait, this is a even just knowing about the sun, well, it is in this font of light. Well, where the fuck could this light be coming from? Where could this connection be? That you pour void down it and reverse the flow. Essentially, where are you going to end up? So,
Right. And we also have to factor in what what effect the Darkwell had on Azeroth. Was it just a way for Xalatath to transport herself there, or was she pumping that into the World Soul, corrupting it with void? What is that going to have the effect on? Because we know that the World Soul has arcane influence, we know it has light influence, and now we know it could have void influence. So is the World Soul even going to be the same thing? What are we even going to go in there to?
there's a lot of unknowns, but a lot of potential that just seem like, even looking at that, I don't know if it's a legitimate chart to use, but the the forces of Warcraft chart of like where it shows, you know,
The
void.
cosmology one?
Yeah, I've heard said like, oh, this is wrong or this isn't real or what have you. But so much of it just plays into the potential of what this next expansion could be down the line, and what even we could see for 12.3 or 12.2 whenever that comes around. Um,
Right.
because
I
yeah,
see the World Soul Saga being essentially a way for us to sever the ties to all the cosmic things and go back to like the ground. Stop worrying about these ridiculous cosmic forces and go back to an expansion where, oh shit, the evil empire of the Arathi are invading, you know?
yeah, because and this was brought to my attention, I think by you. I didn't even notice half the planet. We don't even know what's on the other side of it.
Right, there's a fucking impenetrable storm that was placed there, so we can't get there. We know that the Arathi Empire is over there, um, and we suspect that Avaloran is over there based on the research facility, Uldaman.
Hmm.
But what else is there? We don't know other than something powerful enough to repel Odin,
Interesting. I did not know that
because
even.
he sent a contingent over there to weed out the heretics, I think is what he said. And they got the shit kicked out of them.
Jesus,
So whatever's over there is power. Matches a keeper's power and a keeper's army,
that's crazy. That's
like the prime designate, but not even just a keeper, like the
yeah.
main one. Like Amonthul's head guy could not get in there. That's a problem.
And what's crazy too, like even that's mind blowing. As much as it was mind blowing to me, realizing that the map of Azeroth that we're seeing is literally just half the planet. Like I always interpreted it as, oh, they're on this side of the date line, or Eastern Kingdom's on this side, Kalimdor's on this side, and you have to float around the Earth to get it. I didn't realize, no, it's literally that close, and we just don't talk about what's on the other side there.
Right.
So, from a gameplay
I don't think
perspective,
anybody noticed it until that one guy asked at BlizzCon about the other hemisphere.
really, when was this?
Um, I will Google it. One sec.
Yeah, no worries. And
Kill time.
while you do that, I kind of want to segue. So, like, we talk about, if this does go the way we're talking here, you're thinking where it separates, you know, us from these cosmic forces that has been more or less the big bad for a lot of the expansions, to where it just grounds back down to the planet. We've taken out the cosmic forces, we've gained our independence from these things constantly threatening us, and now we can put the war back in Warcraft, as some of the assholes on the internet like to say. um do you potentially see, after the last Titan, there could be potential for Blizzard to go, okay, here's the next expansion and next chapter, and it comes back more grounded to the series, thinking like, because you go through classic, you're not thinking about, oh, everything up in the sky that's going to kill me. You're like, oh, I know Onyxia's in a giant dragon's in a lair somewhere. I got to kill her before she kills me.
Hell,
Like,
you're more worried about Hogger at the start, but yeah, I get
well,
your point.
very true. Well, it wasn't Hogger for me, so it was more so Baron's chat was my big bad. Um,
What was the like? I don't even think there is like a Hogger equivalent on you guys' side.
I don't think there is. I think the only equivalent I would say since Hardcore WoW came out, it would have been Fizzle, the little goblin in the Dry Gulch Ravine.
Right.
But other than that, like,
But like
he wasn't
horde
that
zones
bad.
were notoriously underdeveloped when
It
that shit
was.
came out. So
For me, it wasn't Hogger when I was first going through on my original Demon Soul server. It was Justin Blade, who was a human paladin that plagued our fucking server and killed horde of all races and levels. So that motherfucker was probably the boogeyman for me when I first started playing and leveling. So, so much that he actually has an Urban Dictionary entry about him, which is still one of the funniest things ever. But
yeah,
also, I just went to Urban
I
Dictionary,
think
and
I found
apparently
it.
June 29th's Urban Dictionary word is nutshot. So there's your tidbit for Urban Dictionary today. But
Hell yeah.
what was
I
the
did find
BlizzCon?
it, by the way.
Yeah.
It is BlizzCon 2013 Red Shirt Guy.
2013 is when that broke
Yes.
everybody's mind. Interesting.
I can find this specific clip because I found a compilation of all of his questions. He went every year from
I was
2010
going to
to
say, I
2016.
recognize Red Shirt Guy as a name, which is crazy to me.
He's in the game.
Really? Where?
The Ironforge fact checker, because in 2010 he pointed out that one of the NPCs was actually supposed to be there and he wasn't, and Chris Metzen forgot that that character wasn't dead.
That's incredible.
So
Shout out
they
Red
not
Shirt
only
Guy.
fixed it, but then they put an NPC called the fact checker who's wearing a red shirt next to him.
That's incredible. You know what? That's
Hmm.
awesome. We'll play the clip here, Hunter, in a second once he sends it to me. But yeah, no, there's a lot that it just and like we've talked, I know so much of the lore too, and Face makes fun of me all the time for this when I say how I enjoy the story of WoW. He goes, "Oh, did you read all the books to better understand it?" And I'm just like, not all of them, but the ones I have. I have what's the one I have right now? I think it's Before the Storm, the BFA book that I started reading and then I just haven't yet, which I still need to. But yeah, there's just so much lore that it just obviously there's going to be some retcons, there's going to be some stuff they fix and change up, but uh it's still such a fun thing to learn about and know more about.
Right. Yeah. He's specifically talking about the southern hemisphere on this one.
Okay, what time is that at? So I could get this loaded for everybody.
Oh, I sent you that's the whole
Oh, that's the
only
whole clip
question he
is from
asked.
that
Yeah,
one. Okay,
I specifically found that one. It's a 2-minute clip because, the devs take their sweet ass time.
of course they do.
And this guy's got a bucket of the tism, so
He's a WoW player. I'm not surprised by that. Let me pull this up here real quick. Oh my goodness, I still have a picture of my face on there. All right, let me do this and let me make sure I've got the audio captured. We're doing some live editing here, folks, so just stick with me for a moment. Okay. Forget you.
I'm also linking you the Wowhead link to his NPC.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna hop over and we're gonna showcase this for everybody. Let me go here. All right. So here's the infamous red shirt guy talking about this southern hemisphere.
The lighting's like perfect. It's just.
Oh, young Chris Metzen.
Spotlight.
How's it Chris Metzen hasn't
Not
changed?
so much about Warlords of Draenor, but one thing I've kind of wondered about, especially since Pandaria came out. The southernmost points of the eastern kingdoms, Kalimdor and Pandaria, are all either jungle or desert, which almost suggests we're at the equator. So does that mean there's a whole southern hemisphere of Azeroth left to explore in the future?
That is a good question. My goodness.
Mm-hmm. And he went with the
Or maybe
deserts and the
planet was just very
rainforests and shit.
steeply angled. A lot of the climate of Pandaria is shaped by Azeroth's unique ocean currents, thanks to the Maelstrom.
Trade
It
winds.
creates some different
Trade winds.
weather.
Ah. Okay.
Yes.
One day,
No.
let's just say, what did you say? Yes?
Ocean
no.
currents?
We're going to say yes and no at the same time.
Of course,
No,
they're
it's a
not
very,
going to
it's
answer.
a very astute observation. It's crazy. Actually, we actually have argued about this in the studio. And it's, boy, we went back and forth. Because it does look like it's all temperate, you know, kind of down there. So I think it's totally possible that there's more stuff down there. If these guys would quit doing
He's so bullshitting.
globes with art inside of, was it Old War? Well, you can't put globes with continents. It's going to look like that's all there is. And you go, no, it's going to look cool.
That is true. There's
This is
so many
awesome.
globes.
But don't do it. Don't
Right,
do it because it
but
doesn't
in
look
the
like
ones
there
in
could be anything
Ulduar,
else.
there's a shroud covering the other side.
Oh, is there? I did not notice that.
Mm-hmm.
Was my argument.
It did look cool though.
It did look cool.
Oh, on the bright side,
The
there is a good way to work
Anytime
around
you
that.
get
The
a
globe in
globe perspective, it's covering something.
I did not know that.
Ulduar already isn't accurate, so you could just say it's obscured.
Exactly.
I love this guy.
Fair enough.
And he's
What did
right,
the
it wasn't even
Titans
remotely
know,
accurate.
Anyway, what did they know, really?
That's incredible. That's just like, well, you're still wrong there, Chris. So shut the fuck up. I know more than you. That's incredible. Oh my gosh. And there's the Wildhammer fact checker. I'll show you guys this
Yeah,
shortly
he's
as
fantastic.
well. No, I don't want to.
Yeah, he
Oh.
got added in after because he called that out because he read the Shattering book and there was a major lore mistake in that. You could watch the 2010 clip later on to see that, like his origin story.
Here's the Wildhammer fact checker, by the way, chat. Red shirt guys NPC in the game. That's
Immortalized.
incredible. Immortalized. Not many people immortalized in there when it comes to just like
Nah,
fans
dude.
of the game. So that's pretty cool.
I mean, not many ones that are still alive anyway.
True.
Like,
Yeah, that's the
like,
biggest
dead
thing.
players get like memorialized quite like that happens, but to be still alive and like you could just go chat to yourself in game.
That's incredible. I'd
Watch
say
him be a
that dude's
lifelong
using
horde
that as a
player
pickup
refuses to
line.
play Alliance.
I think that dude would use it as a pickup line if that guy, looked like he got any. Anyway,
Mm.
but yeah,
Hey man, have you been to conventions? Have you like?
I
Dude,
have not.
promise you, he might have gotten laid.
You know what?
There, like,
good for him, red shirt guy. Good for you, red shirt guy.
if you're a big dude, just go to like an anime convention and do your best Yajirobe cosplay, and you're golden, dude.
Jesus. But no,
Go
that's
find your Korin, baby.
but that's really interesting that even like he points that out, and like the globes, I didn't even realize there was a shrouded spot. But so there is potential where they could cut off and really kind of do a reset for the WoW lore and story to where we're not having to find some new giant cosmic bad to fight and instead shift it to be more local and appropriately sized threats.
Exactly. And I think the biggest threat that they've got set up for after this is going to be the Arathi Empire. But I also feel like after the last Titan, we're going to do probably two things: a major time skip, which allows for them to retire the majority of the original characters like Thrall.
Really?
Yeah, I don't see Thrall continuing after the last Titan, or like Sylvanas, or maybe Anduin, but
Well,
Valen, like other characters like that. I feel like they're going to retire a few big ones so they could start building the foundations for more.
I mean, yeah, they tried to retire Thrall, and then Crit Smetson came back. Well, granted, there was BFA where they brought Thrall back into the fold, and then into Shadowlands, and then beyond. But
Which his involvement in BFA, I thought was amazing with the old soldier and the Sourfang. That was the highlight of BFA.
It's because of Sourfang that I realized, man, my zealotry for the Horde is wrong in BFA. Like, I still cheer at the burning of Teldrassil. I am in all of my friends' comments. Most recently, I was in Felony's TikTok comments when she's like, "You ever just want to go back to a place you love?" And it showed old Teldrassil, and I'm like, "Yeah, so many fond memories." And I put the same picture of Sylvanas standing in front of that tree, and that is my shtick for all my friends' comments. Whenever they talk about
I do
Teldrassil,
love that.
it's so good.
Did you ever play the Alliance side of that though?
I did not. It was only
It
the Horde.
is dark, dude,
Is
because
it?
one of the quests, you're running around Darnassus in one of the quests, and the quest is to save 1,000 people. And it gives you a time limit, and you could only get like 10 or 20. You can't even get close
Oh
to
my
the amount of
goodness.
people you're supposed to save. So that quest is telling you the death toll was unimaginable. Like it's a scramble to save as many people as you can, and you know you're going to fail. From the second the quest starts, you know you don't have enough time.
It's bad that my response to that is wham wham fireball.
I mean, when Fireball caused it, so yeah. I mean,
No, it is
like,
a very devastating quest line. I'll give that. It especially
to be clear, fuck them elves. Like the elves have been like they're the source of every bad thing that's ever happened ever. They suck. They're
true.
awful.
Shout out the Well of Eternity dungeon. Um, which
Right?
which I was gonna bring this up earlier, talking about the Well of Eternity dungeon, because God, why I like lore walking, the instanced content to be able to relive some of these moments is so cool. Calling a Strathhome, at Well of Eternity, like all those things is just like, fuck, that's so cool. Granted, I never played Battle for Mount Highjaw. I went in there to try to farm an appearance, and I'm like, this is the slowest
Ooh, it's
fucking thing
bad.
ever. I don't like this, but
Nothing worse than a late wave wipe because you got to start over.
oh god, I can only imagine. But
It was
like,
bad.
I love when they do the instance content like that, because yeah, Well of Eternity, I think I had briefly read about shortly before that dungeon came out. And then going through that and being like, oh, yeah, we're helping Illidan doing this. And then they're like, wait, Illidan, what the fuck are you doing? It was so good.
Mm-hmm. Those 3 dungeons all together were amazing.
Oh,
I miss that.
absolutely.
I miss when they did that. Like the final patch would release 3 dungeons. Like in the Burning and not the Burning Wrath of the Lich King, they did
Yes.
the Pit of Sauron, the Halls of Reflection, and the Forge of Souls. Not
Oh,
in that order, obviously, but
yes. So good.
Forge of Souls still one of my favorite dungeons of all time.
Oh, it's so much fun. I would agree. I think them doing an interconnected story between 2 or 3 dungeons is such a cool way to show an advancement of story. You know, the whole purpose of going after the dragon soul and grabbing it and then going, all the way to end time to see that. Like, see what could happen if we're successful but do this wrong. I think it really adds weight to what's happening in and
Ah, yes, the golden dinner plate of destiny.
yes, the golden dinner plate of destiny where Thrall kills seals from us. Um,
Oh my God, dude, he sent like, to anybody who doesn't realize this, go back and do that fight. He shoots the Heart of the Aspects mount into him, the store mount.
yeah, he does.
He kills him with a store mount. He kills Deathwing with a store mount, guys.
Thrall is pay to win, chat. You heard it here first.
For sure. And like, I have been wanting Thrall to eat shit and die for over a decade. I've been tired of him for so long. And when he cheated in that Makara and killed my fucking boy for doing absolutely nothing wrong, and then the elements abandon him, and then they're like, in Legion, enhancement shamans will get the Doomhammer. I'm like, finally, we're killing the son of a bitch. But no, he just has a real fucking good depression nap and gets over it. No, we had to kill Tyrion. Why Tyrion dying? Why not Thrall?
I will say, I would agree that Thrall has been very much overused. He is very much a pillar of the Horde in terms of lore and everything, and it's hard to escape him. However, with BFA, us going to Nagran to bring him back to us, um, even like some of the quest lines with, was it the Orc Heritage quest line of his family going through and becoming and um was it Gayara becoming that shaman speaker and leading the whole thing for the Horde. Which funniest thing in that quest line is we have the orc child model and we have an adult orc model. But in order to make a teenager, they just took the orc male model and shrunk it down. So you
It's
just
so
see
busted.
you just see this buff fucking orc just standing there, half the size of Thrall, and it's like, oh, what's up, mini me? How you doing there, buddy? It's so funny.
Like the same
Also,
adult features on the face and everything.
yes, everything. That child had 5 o'clock shadow while talking to Drekthar, who's sitting in a wheelchair. One of the funniest fucking things that took me out of the immersion, but it still fucking sits with me. Questline all around was great, but seeing those two things together fucking sent me. It is so funny. But but like there's so many opportunities to be like, okay, Thrall's story is done. We're moving on. The Horde is in a different spot. But then BFA brought him back into the fold and he's just not left. He's like, I don't want any part of this
Yeah.
leadership, yet he's still fucking here.
Yeah, he's still doing shit. Like, I mean, what did he do in the War Within? He brought the Horde in and
He backed up Sourfang to say like, hey, he's right about the Horde. We need to do this.
all right, so he stood behind a guy,
Then he joined the council, I guess, if it wasn't Eatred.
had a
it was him.
conversation,
Then he got abducted to the Shadowlands.
got kidnapped like a bitch. Okay.
Then he came to Khazalgar with Jaina and Dalaran, and then left with Jaina to resolve the Arathi Highlands issue between the humans and the Magar there.
Side quest. Got it.
That we didn't even get to see. It was released as a 6-part audiobook to their YouTube.
And you lost me.
Yes. Which, granted, was a great fucking story. And again, we didn't fucking know it until that came out. And now probably nobody does. Is that the leader of the Magar is fucking Thrall's like alternate timeline sister or alternate version of himself.
Gender bended Thrall.
She is gender bent Thrall, but she's brown too. Like, the story wasn't bad. But then when it
Welga
comes up
in
like, oh yeah,
Warcraft.
I'm the Duratan and his mate, I forget her name. It's not Gayara, it's I should know this. I'm making a fucking bit about Thrall's mom.
Draka.
Draka, thank you. I'm their kid from the Draenor timeline you went to. So like
Mm-hmm.
what like granted, it doesn't really change
at
anything
the time
in the
we were
game
there.
now.
They didn't have a child at the time we were there, but there was
Correct.
a major time skip. Like there's 20 years because
Correct.
time works differently over there.
Yes, because from the end of Draenor to the quest line to unlock the Magar, there's orc paladins because fucking Urel and all of the Draenei just decided, oh, no Fel? Cool. Y'all are converting to the light, motherfuckers. And
Yeah, they went full Nazi.
They did. And there was a gray hair Grommash that actually looked really fucking good.
If only you could make it to that age in our timeline.
But
Mm-hmm.
it major time skip. And then, yeah, it's like, oh, by the way, I'm technically you from this timeline. And it's like, okay, sister, let's go on and beat these racist fucking Arathi. And it's like, why is this an
I have a
audiobook?
very out of pocket thought.
Go ahead.
All right, so let's say what's Gayara is her name?
His Thrall's wife.
No, Thrall's alt sister.
Um,
Gender bended Thrall is
I will see what her name is.
okay, not important. So if she were to come to our reality, right, and Thrall and her were to bang, is that incest or masturbation?
I'm
Yep.
refusing to answer that. Actually, I'm wrong. Turns out the Magar leader is Gayara. Who's Thrall's mate name? Oh, Agra.
I don't know.
Whoops.
Last time
That's
Agra, yeah.
I was mixing those up. So yeah, Gayara is the Magar leader. Agra is Thrall's mate, and I'm refusing to answer your question.
It's a good question.
It's a question. Of all the questions of all time, that certainly is one of them.
You know, I got to know. Inquiring minds got to know, man.
And you can keep inquiring and private safe search off that on your own browser.
No, I think I'll just ask Bagel about it until she answers me.
I don't know. Stop asking weird fucking questions.
No, you know. I know you know, Bagel.
Anyway, but no,
Can't keep your secrets forever.
I just that when I listened to that audiobook specifically, that series, and that came up, I'm like, that is a cool fucking concept. And it sucks that only 10% of the player base is going to know that fact. Like, it doesn't change
Exactly.
anything for the lore and the storyline so far, but like everything that was recounted in this of like this whole battle between the two factions and everything was so cool that like this would be an amazing quest line to do in game and just experience this. And we just fucking did it. There was a brief moment where we went.
Prime example where lore walking could have been.
Yes.
Because, like I said, anything you're going to do that's important to the story, if it's outside media, either make it optional or make it lore walking.
Well,
there's no excuse anymore.
It didn't even need to be lore walking. We went between seasons, or was it the end of the questing zone? Yeah, by the time you're done with the War Within main story quest, did the fleet show up?
Wait a minute.
So, like...
Isn't that the new play... Isn't that the returning players experience now? The Arathi one?
I couldn't remember if...
Is that the same story?
I don't think it is, because it starts off with cleaning up mess from, like, kobolds or something. I started doing it, and I did not finish it. It could be, but I'm not sure.
Man, I've killed gods and demons, and you got me cleaning kobold shit? Nah.
Well, that's the funniest thing, right? Like, going from... like Legion to BFA is like, oh yeah, you essentially killed the avatar of this fucking Titan. Anyway, here's Sylvanas you have to fight. Like, what? Huh?
Yeah, like that's just a person. What are we doing?
What are we doing here? Yeah, it just what's crazy
Speaking
is
of poop. Have we found the poop quest in Midnight yet?
I don't think we have. I can't think of
go out there and find it.
Yep. Here's the challenge for everybody today, Twitch and YouTube. If you know where the poop quest is for Midnight, please let us know, because that is a time-honored tradition and we absolutely fucking need it.
There has to be at least one. It's the most important lore of the expansion. We need it.
I'm sorry, what? Okay, so it's every expansion, correct? That there's been at least one?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
In every expansion, there's at least one quest that is pertaining to shit. And
exactly.
The most notable one that people remember, not to keep going back to it, but Wrath of the Lich King, there was the what was it? It was in the
Grizzly Hills.
Grizzly Hills, yes. Where you had to help a dwarf or something in the outhouse. Taking a massive fucking shit.
There's a part where you had to, and yeah, you could use that outhouse too.
Yes, you could also use that outhouse. And then...
the one that comes to my mind is the Negran Cherries quest.
Ooh, yes.
Where you got to dig through the Talbook shit, and then you got to use the then you got to eat the fucking cherries for your water breathing.
Yep.
You spend one quest digging cherries out of Talbook shit, and then the very next quest has you going underwater and says, eat these berries, buddy.
Yep. But I can't think of one where in Midnight there is a poop quest. I'm trying to like rack my brain. Like, I would figure if anything, it would be in the Mani zone.
But you would think there. But I mean, it doesn't have to be in the base. It doesn't have to be in the 0.0 patch. It could be in the 1 or the 2. So like, we still got time.
We do still have time. Because what was the one in the War Within? What was the poop quest for War Within?
I know there was one.
I'm going to search poop quest War Within and see what horrible shit pops up. The War Within poop quest and...
A disappointed in lack of poop quest. What? Hold on.
Oh, hold on.
Players
It
have
was an
expressed
Oasis.
disappointment. Okay, so okay, yes, it was. Yes, it was. Okay,
That's
so
right.
that was in the point too. So they got it in at the last
Yeah,
minute
because I
there.
remember you when you first started doing the Oasis quest, like it was like, oh, go clean up the shit from the animals, you janitor. And then it stops you halfway and goes, wait, I didn't know you were that person. You shouldn't be doing this. And then you come back.
Hmm.
Yep, so there it is. So yeah, that was point two. So okay, so we could either be cleaning up toxic shit in the next patch or cleaning up shit at the World Soul if that's where they go for 12-2.
And speaking of the next patch,
Yes.
the final boss is Ulatek, the snake.
Yes.
Pretty sure. So ever since I saw the Isle of Fangs and I, understood what it was, knew, and I was like, okay, so that's our first patch zone. Got it. So that's
Mhm.
gonna have a snake boss. I thought back to Gundrak
Yeah.
and the snake. Was it Drek'Thar Keep or Gundrak in Zuldrak in Northrend?
You're talking about the final boss, that one that goes between
No,
the bones.
I'm talking about the giant snake you can never see the beginning or the end of that's slithering through the dungeon.
Oh, I'm not aware,
It's
but
long as fuck. Hold on.
I believe it's Gundrak is the dungeon because that's the one inside. Because the one I'm thinking of is at the end of it. There's that snake god boss that swatches between his bones or taking your skin.
Right.
Let's see here.
But there's a giant snake that slithers through one of those dungeons.
Oh,
And
it is
I
Gundrak.
thought, yeah, so if you go into Gundrak, you can see this immense snake slithering through. And I thought ever since I saw the Isle of Fangs, given how long that snake was, arguably could reach Northrend. I thought
Could.
that maybe that would be Ulatek. But then we saw the model. It's not that big.
No, it is not that big. That's for sure.
So I still need to know what the fuck's going on with that snake.
Could just be some random fucking snake. I mean,
It's been 18 years. I need an answer.
yeah, well,
The snake is old enough to vote, but I don't know where it's from.
what was the zone between Quel'Thalas and Western Plaguelands? Or whatever the fuck that one was. There was like a zone in like classic
Ghostlands?
No, it wasn't. Or was it between Ghostlands?
Well, in the Burning Crusade, there was the Eversong Woods, Ghostlands, Eastern Plaguelands.
Yeah, and I remember like I think it might have been a classic map where it was like there was a zone of like that just wasn't accessible that people theorized would have been just a whole
Lordaeron.
Stratholme or Lordaeron.
Yeah, Northern Lordaeron.
Yeah. So, listen,
I still see that becoming
there's a sword
thing. What sword?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Which balls on Ian to show up after BFA, wearing one BlizzCon showing up in a shirt that says "What sword?" The balls on that fucking man. Holy shit!
That was I think the guild before I was in Red Arc was a guild called What Sword.
That's fantastic. I love the meme so much.
It's the only reason I joined the guild. I saw the name and I was like, "Yo, get me an invite," and I raided with them for like a year.
Sometimes those guild names just get you. Like I've told you before, I've mentioned it before. My favorite guild name to date that I've seen is JFK Forgot to LOS, and I still think that's such an amazing guild name.
I mean, more realistically, he forgot to bubble.
True. He didn't misdirect.
It's like one of the oldest,
Jackie Kennedy.
old like meme guild names is oh Jesus, dude. Oh God.
Did you not understand what I meant by misdirect? What do you mean?
It took me a second to process. Hunter main, everybody. I was gonna say I still remember one of like the original meme guild names that I saw back in like 2007, and it was some kind of variation with we said I swear she was level 18.
Oh no.
Or, yeah,
no.
I swear she said she was level 18. It was one of those. I can't remember if that was a guild name or a group name on the server, but it made me fucking laugh. Now, I was 14, so that shit was peak comedy for me.
No, it's honestly peak comedy now. It's just also really bad peak comedy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's mainly on her. She should have told me she was underleveled for this
Oh,
dungeon.
okay. We're
Hey,
just gonna
hey,
stop
hey,
there.
hey, hey.
Yes, I'm
I swear
listening.
she said she was level 18.
Shut the fuck up. We're gonna name our next guild Eshteen Island.
Absolutely.
Forget the only Welgos. We're going to Eshteen Island.
Eshteen Island's where it's at.
Oh my god. I'm taking a look here to see. I don't think we have any questions in the Discord to answer. Um, but I really enjoyed this conversation that we had. There's a lot of potential lore that they could do so much with content wise. Not only what's coming up, but just like we've said, with lore walking potential, that would just be incredible for them to do. Um, I feel like we still haven't even scratched the surface of everything for what this game has created and offered in extended media even. And it's crazy that it all started with an RTS.
Orcs versus humans. Uh, I think that the next avenue that they need to explore is an animated series.
Yeah.
Because I mean, those animated shorts that they were doing, like with Illyria, you could turn that into a show and millions of people will watch it
True.
and millions of people will start playing it. Look with the even suboptimal shows or like not very well received shows like The Witcher still boosted The Witcher sales even
Yeah,
though they hadn't released a new game.
for
So
sure.
just make an animated series. You can just do it. You could do Warcraft 1 and just tell the story.
I'm still of the mind that they should take some of their animators and develop a studio to make a show, animated show with the cinematic quality that they've been producing. Because Blizzard cinematics for all their properties is fucking next tier. Like it is so fucking good. Even over the years, it's just only gotten better. And then for them to like
Mhm.
instead to choose to do live action for the Warcraft movie, which no shame. I enjoyed the Warcraft movie. It's a shame anybody that didn't like Warcraft didn't like the movie. Um, but like,
Everybody I've ever shown that movie thought it was great. Even my mom thought it was good.
well, your mom's a saint, so of course she liked it. So
Like, I remember I saw it in theaters with my ex who played World of Warcraft, and she didn't like it, but she hated everything. Everybody else likes it.
I remember also seeing it with my ex, and she didn't play World of Warcraft, and she did not like it. So, whereas me, I'm like, oh, orcs, let's go.
Dude, like for me, it was just like the trailers were giving like Lord of the Rings meets Avatar, and I'm like, hell yeah, let's do this.
Absolutely, it was a great movie for Warcraft fans, at least in the states. Um,
Not to mention just the fun fact that David Bowie's kid directed that.
no shot.
Yeah, as David Bowie's kid.
That's incredible.
Mm-hmm. Which
Um,
means that David Bowie went with the stage name David Bowie instead of Davy Jones. Yep. Man's legal name was Davy Jones.
I don't know what to do with that information. I'm part disappointed yet part happy that he didn't.
Yep. Yep.
X is for a reason. So true, tough.
Well, yeah, she left me for a fucking halfling puppeteer she met playing Dungeons and Dragons with online.
I said this yesterday when talking to Wombat, by the way, and I'm going to reiterate it again. There's so many times when Wombat speaks, I learn so much lore about him that I don't know what to do with.
I got stories.
And I was even on the drive back, I was sharing what you had messaged me with the person driving me, because it caught me off guard what you had said. And they're like, you know a lot about this person. And I'm like, yeah, a lot of it is not asked for. A lot of it is just freely given. And I'm just stuck with this knowledge now.
Like I said, I'm your problem now.
Uh-huh. Yay. Yippee.
Yippee!
But no, I think they like the fact that Warhammer can have a dedicated team making movies, shorts, or what have you, that like obviously it's proprietary. They have their own network, and I'm not even going to touch Warhammer because there's so much to it. But like they could easily find a Netflix deal, I'm sure, to get their cinematic department to make shows about Warcraft, and it would go over so damn well. I don't see
Yeah,
why they're
it
not
would.
exploring that.
But I want them to do live action with Arthas because Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Make it happen. Make it happen. I mean, it needs to happen.
Also, it's Cavill, not Cavill.
I don't give a shit.
I do, and it's triggering me. But yeah, no.
Well,
I mean,
my job here is done then.
it's been done since the first moment when you said what sword, let's be honest. But no, I freaked out when I saw him in what was it, Deadpool versus Wolverine, and he showed up as a Wolverine alternate. And I'm like, God fucking damn
Still
it,
haven't seen that one.
dude. See that movie. It is
I
a
know. I
good
know. I
time.
know. I have to. I have to.
But like, yeah, he would make a good Arthas. I mean, he made a good Witcher because he fucking loved the Witcher series, and then unfortunately left because the writers and creators didn't love the Witcher series. But like, if he goes in there and he has even just an iota of knowledge about WoW, that man is gonna kill it. So,
Oh yeah, he plays well.
then yeah, he's gonna fucking crush it.
Pretty sure he does. I mean, he's a PC gamer, so
Imagine a live action story of Arthas from youth to Lich Kingdom.
yeah,
Even
absolutely.
culminating like from his POV of like the Wrathgate and the ICC raid. That would be insane.
Now imagine that being released alongside a open world action RPG game about him.
That would be just perfect marketing.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, it makes sense to us and it sounds like a great idea, so that's why Blizzard won't do it.
I think they're going to do that one.
The
I think
Arthas ARPG?
yes, I think Chris Metzen coming back to Blizzard it wasn't just for World of Warcraft. He came back to the Warcraft franchise. So they're either going to try another RTS or they're going to try an action RPG, and they'll have to pick one of their characters, and what better character than Arthas?
It's a story people are familiar with and would love a fresh take on and to see how it plays out.
Mm-hmm. And they would love playing the game alongside watching the show because you see how well that goes with Fallout.
You know what? That is so fucking true because Fallout really is a huge plus for people and getting them into that.
Mhm.
So, you know what?
I see them, any new game for Warcraft they release will come alongside a TV show, I think.
God, can you imagine hearing, what was it, the voice lines at the start of ICC? Or not even that, but like a live action recreate of the Lich King cinematic with Henry Cavill.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I
like
mean,
hearing like,
I'm sure somebody's made it with AI by now.
yeah, well, we don't like AI.
I know we don't, but I still like seeing that kind of. It's cool to see it like visualized, so I can go, okay, so that's what it's gonna look like. Now stop stealing.
Whose voice would be a good voiceover for King Menethil over the the hills said the name Arthas while you see live action Arthas light up in his throne? My first thought is Morgan Freeman, but I feel like that would take me out of it.
No, not Morgan. Unfortunately, James isn't with us. Otherwise, that would have been a good one.
That would have been a good one.
But Disney does have the rights to his voice, so
which they should not do anything.
well, they already have.
They have, but they shouldn't. Well, they license like AI for Fortnite to. They've licensed Fortnite to use AI James Earl Jones.
Wild.
And that was a fucking mistake because he said,
no, that was so glorious.
That was awful. Steve Downs, you want Master Chief saying they said the name Arthas? Hunter, that would be wild.
I can't think of anybody, but I want to see. I want to make sure that they don't let my passion for this franchise fully fucking die.
Yeah.
And they have been doing a great job at that. Like, the World Soul Saga is a very good step in the right direction. But, I mean, Battle for Azeroth and Shadowlands did so much unbelievable damage, and Dragonflight was mid. Like at the end of the day, Dragonflight was uh, good enough.
For
But
story wise, yes. Story wise, Dragonflight was very mid. I liked the gameplay of it from the.
yeah, it was a too samey between patches though.
It
Like
was.
that's why I liked the War Within because Undermined was just so much different than anything we'd ever fucking done. So then we went to Koresh, I was like, I don't fucking like this. I stayed on Undermine.
Yeah. I definitely would agree that like this is giving me the vibes of like, okay, I'm starting to get re-pulled in. And despite some of the problems we've seen with like this recent patch being a nothing burger and so much of like just content being hit or miss, the storyline and what it's building up to, I've really been enjoying the overall story we've been seeing for this World Soul Saga. I really hope
Absolutely.
it doesn't. I really hope it doesn't trip at the finish line, because all this build up to just fall flat would really finally be the thing that kills WoW. People have said for years, oh, this game's going to be the WoW killer, this game's going to be the WoW killer. The only thing that's going to kill
Nah,
WoW is WoW. And
pretty much, yeah.
boy howdy have they fucking tried.
Yeah, it almost died during the pandemic. Shuttle 9.1. I mean, I know you didn't play, but it was
I've heard the
bad.
horror
It
stories.
was I mean, there's a reason there were millions of people going to Final Fantasy at the time. Literal millions.
Yeah. So
And they've started to turn it around. But I think it's very unlikely for them to trip at the finish line on this one. I think what they did was they tripped at the starting line because they had to restructure the War Within. Because originally, the War Within was going to be the entire World Soul
yeah,
Saga in one expansion. And then they had to go, oh shit, how do we restructure this first expansion to make the other two make sense? And that's why the War Within felt so weird. That's why Harandar technically counts as Khazal-Gar professions, and other things like that. Because
interesting.
Harandar was originally going to be the Rootlands, and that was going to be 11.2, not Koresh. Koresh was pulled out of absolutely fucking nowhere.
To try to bridge the gap for the storyline and make it make sense.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly, to tie into the void. And now that they've done all that weird, awkward, like stumbling shit, now they've got a smooth track for them just to go down the runway and take off. And that's
Okay.
what I think Midnight is ramping up for that final cutscene to be earth shattering. And I mean quite literally earth shattering, because either she's gonna hatch or she's gonna die.
Which would fall in line with some of the things we've heard about with the potential for, well, not the potential. We know we're going back to a reimagined Northrend, and some of the potential of what we've seen of concept art that could lead to a shattering of Northrend.
Yeah, I found a video of that and that theory, and I just the way that that map is structured, it's perfectly structured to be a four-zone continent.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't take Northrend the way it is and just restructure it. That'd be weird.
Yes.
So, for people who don't know, there's a theory out there that Northrend is not just the northernmost continent. It's the most like developed of the Titan like continents. They've got the most stuff there because that's the actual helm of the world. That's the mind control machine that's keeping Azeroth going. So at the end of Midnight, when we either free or damage the World Soul Chamber or whatever the fuck, it's going to cause the mana frame or whatever it's called
Mm-hmm.
to short circuit and cause a massive explosion, sending the entirety of Northrend into the sky, ripping the helm of domination per se off of the planet.
Yeah. And I like how you describe it as like the helm of the world and the
Yeah,
Titans' abilities, because like
mhm.
it also makes sense why ICC was literally touching the what was that I forget which was that Torghast that was in the Shadowlands that was nearly touching and mirroring,
Yeah, it was Torghast.
especially if it feeds into where the Shadowlands is a Titan construct to divert
Hmm.
from the realm of death.
Another
It.
thing is the jailer channeled the power of the sepulcher into the Forge of Souls,
Mhm.
meaning Northrend powers something far more than we actually think.
Yeah.
And that's going to play a factor. We're not going to hear about the jailer, but what he did there is going to play a factor.
And I guess calling it the helm really lines up and wraps everything up to where, holy shit, this was their, lack of a better phrase, base of operations for the Titans.
Hmm.
And that would be an incredible.
I mean, that's what Ulduar was until Odin took a wing and threw it up into the sky. It was the Keeper's base. That's where the Titans built that facility for the Keepers to be there. And obviously, over time, one left, one fell, the others got corrupted, and you know that whole story.
Yes.
But that was where they basically started it. So that being the source of their domination magic per se would be logical. And I like how there was the Helm of Domination on the Lich King in Northrend,
Mhm.
and Northrend being itself serving as another Helm of Domination, I think would be poetic as hell to
It
tie
would
in
be.
the two expansions, and it would give us familiar zones in a way that would not only be incredibly new to us, but familiar enough, but also fully utilize dragon riding.
True. To where we can actually use that to the full design potential that it brings forward to the game.
Yeah, you can add more verticality to Northrend if if the continent gets blown up into the sky. Well, some shards of the continent are going to be higher than others. Koldara might be lower than Dalaran used to be. The crystalline forest might be shattered into pieces. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like that was like one thing that was cool about the War Within and Kazalgar was like the idea of the verticality of it was really cool, but you didn't really get the grasp of it because you just saw these huge zones that you had to fly up to go, from this from the Nerubian zone to the Arathi zone. Like, you knew it was above you. You had to fly up. But the scale
I
of
think
just how deep you were felt kind of lost, especially when you had the teleporter between,
right.
Dornegal and the Weaver's base.
Right, because then you just completely miss the whole tunnel down, and
Yeah.
that was the scope of it. I think Hollowfall did a really good job of the verticality because there was shit all the way on the bottom on the shores, there was shit
Hmm.
all the way up on the rocks, and not to mention that was just one of the best zones they've ever
Oh,
released. Just it's
100%.
amazing.
It's still so
I also
picture perfect.
right, and I think that's going to play a factor in this expansion because I think that Xalatath found her way to the World Soul Chamber. We've got to find our way to the World Soul Chamber.
Hmm.
Well, we've got the core way. So
Oh, we're gonna be going back to
we're
Dornegal, huh?
we're just gonna go down the core way, and that's how we're gonna get there. So maybe the crystal, what is it, Belladar is it called?
Bellaret, maybe no,
Bellaron?
that's the bird.
No, that's
Belladar.
yeah. Yeah, Belladar. Maybe that'll play a factor in what Xalatath's doing. Maybe that I don't know, but I feel like that's how we're gonna get to the World Soul Chambers. So for Kazagar to just be like an entry point and nothing else would be kind of weird.
It would be cool though, because like I do think that's an interesting way of like utilizing former expansions. Because like so many times we just go to a new expansion zones and then just never touch them again, unless
Right, the
it's for.
Burning Crusade started the biggest problem of like expansion shrinking the world every time.
Mhm. So like to say like, oh, we need to go back here as like a travel point would be cool. I mean, I have no problem
Hmm.
with like hell, even the quest line for Eretor where you had to go to Light's Hope Chapel again. And even to the Scarlet Monastery, it's like, hey, this world still exists, even though we've moved on
Hmm.
narratively. And
Or like, even though BFA was poop, like we had to go back to Silithus to go see that giant weird gaping hole with nothing in it.
I hate you. I hate you so much. How dare you?
But they utilized that zone very well in that way,
They did.
and like obviously didn't pan out very well, but it was exactly what we wanted from them utilizing old world zones. And they've been doing better with that. So,
Yeah.
like I said, there's like either we're gonna do some cosmic bullshit to get down there, or we're gonna just use the fucking core way. We've got a ladder. Let's just use the damned ladder.
Let's not overcomplicate this. And that's where it comes back to
Right.
like where however we go into the end of Midnight and the Last Titan, not only do these expansions need to stick the landing and really deliver to keep people like us and the greater WoW community as a whole invested in enjoying ourselves and playing, but to find out whatever their plan is next, whether it is we're going to just stay on Azeroth and we're going to focus on a new part that we're exploring, or just revisiting these zones, but like expanding the narrative forward without it just being the same rehash shit. They, they really are at a critical point to where if the Last Titan is it, we need to know what's going to happen after. Like, is it just going to be
Hmm.
retail plus? Is it going to be, are we restart? What are we doing? This is really crucial for them
Exactly.
to land it, because we're probably looking within the year of getting a first look at Last Titan as we approach,
Oh, we'll get that at BlizzCon, and The Last Titan will be out within 14 months of now.
because they said 8 month or 8 week patch cycles. We're approaching
18-month expansions. Yep.
18-month expansion. So yeah, we're looking at playing the Last Titan within the next year plus a couple months. So
14. Yep. I suspect it'll be Q3 2027.
so they then fast forward to that next a year later from that to know what the hell we're going to be doing after. It's a pivotal moment for them, and I really hope that whatever it is they're doing, whether it's they're expanding the IP to a new RTS or the ARPG like you're saying, or even just external media, I really want to see them expand on this and stick the landing, because fuck, I love this world. I love this story. I've loved this story ever since the first time I played this game, not knowing anything about the Warcraft games. Like it it's
Oh
really
man, I
good.
started with the Warcraft games.
It's good.
Before I ever
and
played World of Warcraft, I played Warcraft 3 like a motherfucker.
I just don't want to see it die. Is my thing. I don't want to see him say,
Oh, I
"Okay,
don't think it'll
we've
it'll
reached
get
our
there.
plan, and now Destiny 2 is over, and we're gonna just fire everyone." Like, I don't want
Yeah,
that.
no, nope. No,
But,
they're not gonna let that cash cow go. What the hell? My words just stroked.
well, it's been 2 hours. We're both kind of talked out. Uh,
Yeah.
but with that, I
I
think.
mean,
Oh, go ahead.
there was one thing that you were saying, like how they would expand it. I had an idea when they launched Warlords of Draenor that they were going to expand that back into our world, and when we came back, we would actually be in our timeline from Warcraft 1.
So kind of
So
resetting
that
back
way,
to that point, but with our
I
knowledge of what
thought
happened.
Warlords would have been exactly. I thought Warlords was going to serve as a reset point, but then they just didn't do that.
Then they said, F that idea and F all the ideas that we had for this expansion, and we're going to make it bare bones and no content.
Pretty much, yep.
Except for
Rip housing.
Pexis crystals. You need more Pexis crystals.
Ah, dude, I don't want to hear those things, man. Like, I had to go back and do the Ogre Law reputation in the Blades Edge Mountains.
Yep.
Yeah, so the currency for that is Apexis crystals.
You poor man.
And I went back to do that after Warlords, and I was like, oh, dear God, I escaped this. Nah.
And he's gone. Well, before we
Pretty
wrap
much.
up, any closing thoughts you have that we haven't covered or anything? I mean, this was a great conversation.
Nah. Yeah, we could go all day.
I know we can, but I know my stomach's been growling the past 30 minutes. And as much as I'd love to go for a 6-hour lore session, that's going to take probably 2.5 weeks to upload. So we'll definitely have
dude,
to
2.5 weeks to render.
no, kidding. We'll definitely have to come back to this, because I feel like, especially after we see 12.2 or 12.1 and see how the story develops and finishes for that chapter, I definitely think we need to have another conversation. I think we'll put that on the books.
For sure.
Well, cool. Well,
anytime, you just let me know.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Wombat. And thank you, everybody here in Twitch chat and YouTube, for joining us today for this episode of the Schedule Maintenance Show. That was a lot of fun. For you guys on YouTube, if you like what you saw, please make sure to like the video and share it with a friend who might also be chronically addicted to Warcraft lore and want to hear some of our theories. Additionally, if you like this and want to see more of the show, feel free to subscribe to the channel or catch us live here at twitch.tv/Welgo every Monday around 12 noon Central. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today. Thank you so much to my guest Wombat for joining us, and we hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Remember, drink some water, take your meds, eat some food, and above all else, be kind to one another, because you never know who might be developing half the content for Warlords of Draenor and might be having a rough time doing so. Take care, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Before we go, I'd like to give a special shout out to everyone over on the Patreon, as well as thank you again for watching this video. If you liked what you saw and want to see more like it, please consider subscribing. That way you're guaranteed to see more of my content, and it's the best way to support the channel and the work that I do. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.